Been around the block.
Still give me hell.
What the song is?
Yeah, because I had everything recorded together. There it is.
Walk around, sit down chair.
Productions. Been around the block.
Is my phone overheats out here?
Been around the block.
Hey, we already got 5 people on here, man. How about that?
Got 11.
Welcome to Been Around the Block, episode 18, with our special guest, Leigh George. I am Brooke Southern. I'm one of the hosts of Been Around the Block. You want to introduce yourself, guys?
Nemo.
Nemo,
I'm Chris Ross.
Hey, sorry
All
about
right.
Yeah, it messed up.
It's cool, man. Will you introduce yourself, Leigh?
My name is Leigh. Yeah, Leigh George. Some people know me by Nicole, though, so I don't know. I should have put Leigh Nicole, maybe. I don't know. But yeah,
Well,
most people know me by
change that.
Leigh. It's all
All
right.
Well, thank you so much for coming on here. This is really exciting. I know you from a couple years ago from when I first got sober and you worked at the rehab I went to, so that's a little bit of our history.
Yeah.
Chris works with you currently, don't you?
Mhm. Yeah.
All right. And so just fair warning, everybody who's tuning in, Nemo is in Texas. I don't know where Chris, he's almost to Mississippi, but we might be losing both of them. So just
You ain't gonna lose me.
Yeah, but we might lose Chris though. So there's a good chance that's going to happen. So.
You might lose Chris. You ain't losing me.
I'm in Alabama.
Alabama.
Roll
I'm in
Tide.
Choctaw. I'm just kidding.
And I am sweating my ass off in my apartment because our air conditioner just went out. It's going to be all right, though. So tell us a little bit about where you're at right now. I mean, we'll have you go into your story here in a little bit, Leigh. But,
Okay.
give us a breakdown of where you're at now and all that
All
stuff.
right now. So, in May, I don't know, like, it's wild because in May I graduated with my master's degree in addictions counseling. So I'm actually working as a therapist right now. And I just passed my written exam for my license. So I have like one more thing to do and I'll be fully licensed, which is wild. It's so crazy, man. Like I sometimes it hits me and I'm like, I hope I don't fuck people up. That's my disease, my disease like starts hitting me. But no, I love it. I work at a therapist. I work with Chris, and
I mean, I technically work with you too. I forgot about all that.
yeah.
So.
I was fixing to say, like in my mind, I was like, I think I.
Brooks is gonna be like, it's the parent company. Technically,
Yeah.
it's better.
It's the admin office. It's the admin office. He's in the
It's
admin
not
office.
that big a deal, but yeah, I mean, it is technically, the parent company, whatever.
So Leigh, what's your sober date?
8/18/16. I always get that mixed up because there's too many teens. So it's August 18th of 2016 is my sober date. So, yeah.
Damn, so you're running up on
Mine is,
10
August
years
20th.
soon.
What'd you say, Chris?
I said my sobriety date's August 20th.
Right on. Yeah, I'm super excited. It's been a journey for sure. Just trying to finish school and everything. So
So how much more schoolwork do you have to do? And then are you going to go for a doctorate program or do you have to?
no, I don't have to. No, I'm done with school for a while. So like I said, I graduated with my master's degree in May, and to be fully licensed in Oklahoma, you have to take like a written test and an oral test. So I did the written and I passed it, which I don't even know how I did that because I was like recovering from surgery and took it. But anyway, I just have one more thing, then I'll be fully licensed. I don't know if I'll get my doctorate. My mom wants me to, but
Are you gonna stay at your same job?
oh yeah, they're gonna have to like put up with me for forever because I love it so much.
They gonna have to promote you too, huh?
Yeah, forever. Maybe I'll end up at the admin office someday. Just kidding. Just kidding. No, I love it.
You can't have that.
No, they miss me too much there. They're crazy. But Yeah.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us, you know, what it was like, what happened, and what it's like
Okay.
now.
Well, I'm one of those, like, you hear about people who it like hits them really hard and quick. That was me. I grew up in a home where like my parents were both teachers. School was always really important. Like but like when I was like, I don't know, 12 or 13, like I noticed that I never really felt like I fit in with anybody. Like I always felt like I was just completely different than everybody else, and never felt like I belonged anywhere, right? And I can remember that having those thoughts for like every single day. Like I just felt like I was so different. And and then when I hit about 15, I discovered that when I would like be with a guy or something, I felt good, right? And so I started like finding my purpose in relationships, right? And so that's all I did. And then I got pregnant really early in school, and I never drank or anything. Like I was like made really good grades, but I got pregnant when I was 15, 16, and I had I had my son. I hear the kids, it's so cute. But I have my I love kids. Anyway, so I had my son and ended up getting married, and still did never drink or anything. And but I feel really bad. Like I tell my story, and my first husband was like a really good man, but I just I was sick, man, and I would cheat on him, and I was still like seeking happiness anywhere else than a spiritual connection. Like I didn't have that at all. Um, and
Hey, I got a question. So, like on some of your schooling, did any of that root from you trying to kind of figure out what's going on with you inside with your addiction and everything else like that?
So not so much in the beginning, but it's really funny. We had this class, and it's called it's co-occurring class, and you like start learning about all the mental disorders, right? And everybody in the whole class started diagnosing each other, and like
Oh
like
no.
reading all the things, and like, oh, you sound like you have this. Or, anyway, and he said that's really common. Like you start diagnosing, but no, for sure. Like I just wanted to try to understand what was going on with me. Um, when I started, so I didn't start back to school until, I don't know, I guess I'd been sober like, I don't know, 4 years, 3, 4 years maybe when I went back to school. So, yeah, no, it's been interesting, and it's really hard to sometimes separate like what I learned in school and like helping people, because I do work a program, and so sometimes I have to like shut that off. Does that make sense? So like
It
because
does, yeah.
I try to therapize everybody. I have a shirt
Yeah.
that says, "Don't stop talking, I'm diagnosing you." But no, anyway. But yeah, no, I just I never so I never did anything, and I had 3 kids, and I was a housewife, and I taught Sunday school. Um I had this little job. My first husband was like in the military, and I got a job at the base. He worked at a base, and so I got a job at the base, like checking IDs because I wanted something to do. But this whole time, like I would, I was unfaithful, right? And because I just was trying to seek, that made me feel something different inside my head than my thinking. I just thought that I just was uncomfortable with myself, right? And so that's what I did. And then it was really kind of crazy because I think about that, like I never did anything ever. And I was riding one of those little like razor scooters, the little death trap things. And I hit my car and I broke my collarbone and got some painkillers. And like I got home that day and I was like, this is what it's all about. Like, forget everything else. Like, this is my favorite thing in the whole world. And it was like a freak thing. Like I broke a rib right after that, and so it was like painkillers, and then man, I was completely hooked. And It was all she wrote. Like that's where the obsession like just started. And like
How old were you at that time?
I was 28 years old. So I like maybe drank a beer, maybe like I
Really?
never did anything ever.
Wow.
And so, yeah, and so within like a month, I was my cousin knew a guy who knew a guy, you know what I mean? And so I was like driving to the city with my baby and buying painkillers from this guy. And then one day he didn't have any and he was like, "Hey, I don't have any pills, but I have some meth." And I was like, "Okay, this is like real cheaper, you know," and tried some meth and I packed my bags. I took my 3 kids, drove to the city, dropped them off at my parents, and I moved in with the dope man. So
That fast?
yeah, I liked it a lot because it made me feel like, you know, I just felt like I finally belonged. Like, you know, it made me feel that way. And so yeah, it was crazy. It was so crazy. But and then within a month I was shooting. So February 13th of 2008, I did drugs for the first time, and by June I was already arrested for the first time. So yeah, it was pretty crazy.
And
But
did you ever go to prison or anything?
never went to prison, but I got 11 felonies in a year. So I got which is funny. Like I ran around
It's
with
impressive, yeah.
yeah, it is really if you think about it. But I was a horrible criminal because you know I had grew up in a little bitty town, and like you know it was just unheard of. Like my brother got his doctorate from Harvard, and he is a chemist. My other brother is like a computer engineer. My parents were teachers. Like you know it was unheard of that here I am like shooting meth, getting all these felonies. But yeah, no, I found myself just like staring in the mirror and like not knowing who I was and like just how did I get there so fast, you know? And the things that happened in that year when I got all the felonies were just my sponsor likes to say that I had like a Quentin Tarantino life, but it's pretty crazy. Like, yeah.
And this is 2008, right?
Yeah, 2009. So I got arrested 11 times in 2009. Yeah.
So how many kids do you have at this time?
I have 3 kids. Yeah.
Okay.
And they were at my mom's, and I have 2 boys and a girl, and they were at my mom and dad's. And it was really kind of crazy. My ex-husband just didn't know what to do, you know, because I had never.
And this was the one that was in the military, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, like so I like to share this because I think it's important to know like the progression of like what was happening with me. Like I was teaching Sunday school one day, the next day I'm giving a ride to this guy, and we went to this guy's house, and he had a guy like duct taped to a chair, and he cut all his fingers off with cigar cutters.
God.
And he gave me a plastic bag and said, "Pick them up." And so like, what would you do? You saw this guy cut his fingers off. So I was like, okay. And so like I'm picking this guy's fingers out and putting in this bag, and the insanity of that is that I continued to do what I was doing, right? And it was not even like registering to me like, hey, you have something
This is
going
bad
on.
shit. Yeah.
It's bad shit. Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty nuts. But anyway, so like with the 11 felonies, I got drug court, and so they told me that you could go to drug court high, so I got real high before I went to drug court, and I ended up going to jail for 4 months at Oklahoma County, and then I sat there for 4 months waiting on treatment. Then I went to the chicken plant. Y'all ever heard of that DART before?
I've heard of that. Yeah, I've heard of that.
Well, I should have said the name, but yeah. So anyway, I was there for 6 months killing chickens. I was
Damn.
there for 6 months. Yeah. But It was pretty
So
wild.
what happened after that? You said you got sober in 2016, so there's still another 7 years in there.
Yeah. Yeah. So you want me to just keep going? Is that how you want me to
Next.
just keep going?
Yeah, just keep
Okay.
going. Yeah.
Let's keep going. Okay, so I basically I killed chickens for 6 months. That was the place I was at. So and then when I came back, I did drug court, but like I knew the whole time, because if you think about it, like from the time I started using drugs, from the time I, got drug court, it was like a year and a half, which is insane. And so I got drug court, and that's when I first started going to college. I got did some classes and stuff, and then when I graduated drug court, someone came and over, and it was a guy I used to use with, and he was like, "Hey, you graduated drug court?" I'm like, "Yeah," and he was like, "Here you go." And I put my hand out, and he just put this rock in my hand, and I was like, "Damn, dude!" And so at this time, I had 2.5 years, but I was sick still, right? Because I hadn't worked on anything that was going on in my mind. I would seek pleasure in this, and then the drugs had me, and I had no idea that I had a thinking problem and a feeling problem, and I had no spiritual connection, none of that. And so that I went and I put it in my drawer for a week. It sat in my drawer, and then it was just but it turned it on, right? It was ruminating, and I was like, yeah, I got to do it. And so I did it. And that time I said, hey, you know what? I made up my mind I was going to be a successful user, and I was not going to commit crimes.
So, question: when you jump back in, because
Yeah.
when I jumped back in after my last relapse, I jumped right into shooting it up. Did you jump
Yeah.
right back into that?
Oh,
yeah.
That's the way I did it, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I around this time I got divorced from the military man, which, like I said, I want to say again, he's the best man ever. He's just a really good guy. But anyway, so I got a lump sum of money, which was the worst possible thing that could have happened to me right in that moment. And so and not to mention that whenever I relapsed there, I was still in college, and so I'm sitting in college classes just can't sit still and moving all around. And I don't know how, but I got all A's. I don't really know how God did that for me, because yeah, I got all A's, but I didn't go back, obviously, because now I had all this money. And then my problem besides drugs is men, so I just started dating all these men that were really, really bad for me. And it was not long, I just blew through the money, and so we started committing crimes again. And so, but
How much money did you get? I gotta know.
I got
$15,000.
$15,000. I got $15,000. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's a lot of money when you don't have no money.
It's easy to go through, though. I mean,
yeah, but
It's
I feel
really
bad
easy
because
to go through these days.
Yeah, well, and I always he's remarried now, and his wife hates me. I mean, I don't blame any of it. Anyway, when he retires, I get half his retirement. I was like, why did he agree to that, man? It's really bad for the guy, but well, I don't deserve that at all. But anyway, I got this guy, and he started beating me up all the time. And I think it's really important for women, especially in that world, they seek out these men, and we seek out what we think we deserve in that moment, and it's just all bad. It never amounts to anything. And I was repeatedly got beat, and he ended up shooting me. I've been shot. He shot me, and he stabbed me 3 times. He stabbed me in the neck.
Where'd you get
Oh
shot?
my God.
I got shot in my legs.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then I was in I didn't want to go to the. Somebody was did you?
I love how you laugh about all this.
That's just me, though. You have been around. I just laugh about it. The reason I laugh is because I know how insane it sounds, right? And so I was in a motel on the south side, and had this piece of metal, and I dug the bullets out. And then
Jesus.
in my mind, I was like, hey, I need a disinfectant. So I got some apple cider vinegar and poured it on there, and then I duct taped my legs. It was Look at Chris's face.
God,
God damn.
I've done some crazy things, but
Listen, I was
ugh.
watching a movie earlier with my husband. We were in there watching the movie, and this guy came in and like stabbed this guy in the leg, and like my whole body went sweats. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, that just triggered the shit out of me."
Did you start laughing? I just gotta know. Did you start laughing?
You know I did. Like I was laughing. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" But
Fuck.
that's pretty bad, right? Like, and I laugh. I think the reason I laugh about it is because at the time, like, it wasn't insane enough for me to get out of it, right?
Right.
And in all seriousness, like, I was miserable. I was so miserable. I just wanted to die. And he would tell me he would kill me if I left. And so, you know, if you've been shot by someone or stabbed by someone, like, you believe them. And so, and I can also say that around that time, like, I never went home. And, you know, I want to backtrack just a little bit because whenever I was in school and, like, I was in drug court, like, my family had gotten me back. And it was a long time. Like, I carried so much guilt because they, like, had me. And then I just wasn't ready to get sober, you know. And so whenever I started dating that guy and I just left and I didn't come back, I know that they were, sorry, I don't know how to turn that off, but they were like really, you know, just done with me, right? And my mom wasn't. My mom was always the person that would answer the phone. I'd call her, be like, "Hey, I'm hungry," and she'd drive to where I was and feed me. But my oldest son told me I was dead to him. Like he hated my guts. I was dead to him, and so but anyway, so I was with this guy and we were like doing the gift card thing. Do you remember the gift card thing when you get the gift cards?
Yep.
That place over there on the north side, you go sell them through that little window.
A to Z,
Yeah,
A to Z,
yeah,
A to
you
Z.
sell them through the window. You know, you could buy syringes through that window. That was freaking nuts. Did you know that?
No, I didn't
Crazy.
know that. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
you could. But anyway, I was doing all that, and then he went into Walmart one day and tried to steal something and got caught, and we were sitting in a stolen vehicle, and like my charges and drug court were all stolen vehicles because that's what I did. I'd steal your vehicle, you know, and and like think about the insanity of that because I taught Sunday school. Like I always have to stop and like really point out, like I taught Sunday school, like I was this housewife, I cooked dinner every night, and then 6 months later I'm stealing your car for drugs, right? And that's just like the sad part about, you know, addiction is that it takes somebody and then it just drops them down to this animalistic level where I'm in survival mode because that survival mode kicks in and I don't care if I'm drinking water, I don't care if I'm eating food, but I have to use drugs because that's what I do, because that's what I need to survive. And so I was you know, stealing cars, doing whatever, like I didn't care, I just get you. But anyway, so those 11 felonies, like a whole bunch of them were stolen vehicles, and the cop looked on the camera and came to the car and was like, "Hey, you know, he just got busted in here," and he was like, "And this truck's stolen, so you're going to jail." And so there I went again, and I was crying and I was like, "Thank you," because like there was this moment in the truck and it was when he went inside and I was just ready to die, right? I was ready to die. I was like, I can't. He's like shot me, he's stabbed me, like he's beating me every night, like. It wasn't even about the drugs anymore. It was about like just my life was just chaotic
And what year was this?
That was in 2016.
Okay, so
And
it's right
so
before you got
yeah,
sober.
yeah. So I'm sitting in the truck and I was like, I remember praying and I was like, "Hey God, you know, I want to die. Like I'm sorry." And like I remember like apologizing and I was writing this text to my kids because I was just done. And that's when the cop knocked on the window and was like, "Hey, you know, he got caught or whatever." And so I'm bawling and he was like, "Why?" I said, thank you. And he's like, "Why are you thanking me? You're going to jail." I'm like, "I know, but I could not get away from this man. Like I could not get away from him." And man, I went to Cleveland County and called my mom, and she was like, I knew that somebody's gonna call me and tell me you're dead or you're gonna go to jail. And so, and I got in there, and I knew it was different, and I surrendered this time because I wasn't begging my mom to bomb me out, because my mom would be the one to bomb me out every time. Like, so,
Well, you knew you're safe.
yeah, well, yeah, and I was just like, that moment, you probably had this moment, like, I'm just done. I'm done. I cannot do this anymore. Like, it's just, I knew if I did it anymore, I was just gonna die. So like, that's where I was. And anyway, so I sat there. My brother told me that if I wanted to go to treatment, he'd pay for it, and they bonded me out, let me go home, pack a bag. My oldest son, remember I told you, he still was like, I don't want to talk to her, so he like left because he didn't want to see me. And I got on a plane to Portland, Maine. I got to go to Portland, Maine, and
Now, when you bonded out, how much sober time did you have at that time, right before you went to rehab?
It would have been, I don't know, almost a month. Almost a month was in there. And what was pretty cool is there was drugs in there, and like I didn't do them, and I'd share that because that's a big thing, right? Because that's what I did, was did drugs. I was just done. Yeah. And when I got to Portland, Maine, it was kind of crazy because I got to the treatment place, and I was only in meth head there because everybody on the East Coast, it's like it was heroin at that time, but opiates or whatever.
Was they trying to put you on Suboxone?
No, it was not like a medical kind of place. It was more like, hey, you're going to work a program, and you don't get to leave here until you get to this certain spot in your program. So like, it wasn't even like a 6-month place or 2-month place or whatever.
It
was
depended
like,
on you, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. When I first got there, I freaked out. I was like, I'm not safe, because I was like the older lady there that was on meth, and my job would constantly try to eat my ear. I was all freaking messed up. And so I walked off, but I was damn near in Camden. Where am I going to go? So I got really lost trying to get back. And like, it's a funny story because I had no phone or nothing, and I was in Portland, Maine, but I had to like knock on people's doors, like, I'm trying to go back. But anyway, I went back, and man, I had a spiritual moment while I was there, and I learned to pray and meditate, which is so huge for me. And by the ocean. That's why I was talking to you about the ocean, man. There's something about the ocean, like, I don't know, it gets in your soul. But
it's endless. It's beautiful.
It's like God's beauty. It's just, I don't know, it's just the most amazing thing there ever was. So and then when I was there, I was trying to call my son, and he really didn't want to talk to me. Uh-oh.
What happened?
Oh no! Can you hear me still?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah,
okay, I'm frozen on my screen.
Y'all,
wait.
all three have been frozen on my screen this whole time, so I'm just going with it.
Yeah, everything was good from where I'm at.
Okay, I'm just looking at this really horrible face I have on, but that's cool. I don't care. But anyway, so it was time to come back, and it was around October, I guess. So I was there.
We did lose her this time. That's all right. She'll come back. I'll add her to the stage. So yeah, I just looked at the Facebook thing, and everything looks good from even Chris's pixely ass angle from this. It looks good on Facebook.
Yeah, so. Chris has got this technique where he falls asleep with his eyes open.
I'm like looking around. It's like, bro, it's like beautiful. It's like big ass trees everywhere, and fucking rivers and lakes and shit. Like,
Tara Lee says we look great. Thank you, Tara. Hello, Courtney Nicole.
Yeah, I told I've been posting those as we go. Strong female. I missed that. There goes Bradley too.
Shout out Monica Campbell. She's on Chris's side. Oh, sleeping.
So Brandon Bryce K. You're a strong female, Chris, is what they said to you.
Yeah.
So you look great to
Yeah.
me.
Say thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Hey, girl. I don't know. Do you guys read Spanish?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Well, I just put it up there. Liste de. Yeah. What's that say?
That says, I don't know. I don't
Okay.
know what that says.
Dia de que Alger. What's up, everyone? What's up? Well, while we're waiting on Leigh to get back on, yeah, dude. So I'm scared to death of the ocean. I think it's beautiful, amazing, huge, but I will never ever go on like a cruise. I don't think.
Okay. Tell me what you're scared of. Okay, so the only thing that's freaking me out right now is
It's so big.
Everybody keeps talking about sharks. Like, oh, don't get eaten by sharks because
That'd be an easy way to go.
Well, they've been real bad in here at Padre Island. And I'm not talking about dying by them. I'm talking about them taking a chunk out of me and me living. That's you know what I'm saying? Like,
see, I wouldn't mind dying that way. I just don't want to fucking drown in a giant ocean that I can't see the bottom of. All right. Leigh just texted me. I'll resend the link. Hold on. I'm gonna resend it to her. Invite. Hold on. Copy. Give me 1 second, dudes.
Dude, I'm like on the top of a mountain right now.
Are you?
I'm like on top of a fucking mountain, I think.
Leigh. Bam.
bro, there's a Circle K right behind you. You're not on top of a mountain.
No, we're like up high in elevation.
I can see the convenience store right behind you, bro.
That's cool,
really
man. I mean, whatever.
City.
You just drive in circles.
I'm
Northwest Expressway.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I just told her I re-emailed it. So.
Chris on his pretend ass vacation, dog. We just seen Meridian in the background, dog.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
Look,
Whatever.
Look at this.
Yeah, it's the vape shop I go to, bro. It's cool, man. Whatever. You ever come to Dallas, Texas? I have. It's been a long time. I'm answering questions, but we're trying to get guests from out of town. I've got somebody lined up coming up that's in Kansas City, which would be like one of our first national guests. Maybe I don't know who you guys have lined up.
Joe Reyes.
I got a guy named.
So we are going to drive back through Dallas. We're going to stop in Arlington at Six Flags tomorrow. So yes, I'm not a Cowboys fan, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not a sports ball fan, really.
Sports ball.
Go sports ball. There she is. I'm adding her to the stage right now. She's
I'm
back.
just going to do the rest of the interview like this. Is that cool?
I have no idea what happened. I don't understand what happened.
You left. I mean, we're boring. I get it. It's fine.
Anyway, hopefully, I told my husband that if it does it again, I'll have to get off his phone. I don't know what. I'm in this like little room in here in my house because
everything else has been good so far. I don't know why it kicked you off. It's super weird.
Well, my computer. Anyway, well, I know where when I got home, flew home. Oh, I didn't tell you that I shaved my head off when I did a Britney Spears moment.
Okay, yeah, I almost did that recently. So
yeah, I did. Yeah. Someday I'll show you a picture. I look like I don't know. I could pull anybody. I was like shook. It was like this. Anyway, because that guy used to pull around on my hair, and so it was like a weird. I don't know. Women do that. They do with their hair. Anyway, and so when I flew home and everything, and I got to the airport, my oldest boy was there to pick me up, and so and he's my best friend, man. And so he just
let me just kind of recap. You were outside of Portland. You left the program. You tried to call your son, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then I just wanted to kind of recap on that.
Yeah.
Wait. You said Portland, Maine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it has an incredible recovery community there. It's so amazing. It's just wonderful. But anyway, so I get back and he picks me up and I get to start mending that relationship and And part of my thing is I always think that I'm so smart. That's my disease. Like I always think I'm so smart. But anyway, so I get back and I get this job. Well, I'm so bored I can't sit at the house, so I start working like at this fast food restaurant, and then I ended up like moving up like really quick, and then I started working at this other place, and then I hurt myself, like I got cut, and it got infected or whatever, and so they had to put a PICC line in there, and so that was like a pretty cool that I had a PICC line for 6 weeks, and I didn't try to like stick any drugs in there. But that's a real pivotal moment. The reason I talk about that is because that's when I decided I was going to like go back to school, and that I wanted to help others. And it's been super cool because like my all the things that happened to me in my life today, I don't have to try to numb that feeling. I can just feel it, and it's okay today. Like I can feel that, and I don't have to like block it. I don't have to cover it up because it'll pass. And I lost my dad since I've been in recovery, and that was really hard. But my family members like never once were like worried about me like gonna go use or whatever, and so that's really freaking cool, And anyway, so I went back to school, and I was like sober a year, and this guy waves at me on Facebook, and I was like, he all right looking, right? And so we got married after 2 weeks.
Oh my God.
All right. Hell yeah.
Wait, you say wave, like waving at you on Facebook?
On Facebook where they got the little wave. You don't remember the
Well, they
waves?
used to do the poke thing.
I know they got the poke.
Yeah, there was like a wave thing. I don't know. Anyway.
So
yeah, because they'll say after somebody becomes your friend, would you like to wave at this person?
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
And then
2 weeks later, y'all married?
2 weeks, and anyway, and so he's sitting in the living room. We're still married, so
nice.
But man, like life is so good today. But I've been through some stuff, and like it just it was a challenge going to school and then trying to work, and I got in the recovery field, and I found that here's what happened is, I told you I've been sober like it's been almost 8 years, right? And so about a year ago, I was in school full time, and I just decided that I didn't need to work on myself anymore because I worked in the recovery field, and I was it's been